Welcome to Popternative, where we dive into topical discussions from the worlds of pop culture, social media, and sports. Here is your host, Peter Remoliotis, aka PD Beats.
PD Beats here from Popternative, speaking to Nathalie Varli about Young Royals, which just dropped on Netflix recently. She plays Madison. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you for having me.
It's exciting. I just want to know for you, because what I've noticed is it drops on Netflix, all the episodes, and it hits so quick. The fan base was like instant. Was it the same for you when you were watching, or was it a little bit of a slow burn and it took a couple of weeks for your Instagram to kind of blow up?
I mean, no matter what, it's only been out for a month,
And it
and
feels like a lot longer, right?
I know, right? And it's just, I think like sometimes it feels like it's creeping up on you, but then all of a sudden it's like, boom, here we are. We love this show, and yeah, I don't know. I just felt like it happened so sudden, and yet there's stages to it. I don't really know how to describe it.
Oh, absolutely. Because I interviewed Malte, and he said that it was very quick, but
hmm
like all over the different time zones. So all the
Yeah,
tags and everything basically were like nonstop. I found that interesting as well because
yeah, that's smart.
it
I
is
didn't
on
think about that.
it's on Netflix, so it's available in so many countries. So how does it feel
Mhm.
to be on a show that has such a global reach and impact like Netflix, Natalie?
It's it's crazy. I say it all the time, but I'm speechless. I
Yeah.
really don't know what to say or what. It's so overwhelming in a good way. But I have family living in Lebanon, and I have friends all over the world. So it does feel like a huge blessing that everyone can see it.
Yeah, it's amazing. Now we're gonna talk about your character because I find there's two very interesting things about your character. One is the more obvious one, but then there's another one. I mean, Madison has a cool hairstyle.
Yes.
It's a cool head of hair, and we saw it on Instagram and social media. People love the hair and everything, so that's really cool. So, how did that come to be? You know what I mean? Because that's not people are watching this interview. Like you don't have that hair right now, right? So how did
I
that
really
come to be? Was that for the show? Was there an idea? Is there a story behind that hairstyle?
We did like a hair and makeup day before the show started, just to see kind of like how my hair was, and just the hairstylist, so they would know what to do.
Hmm.
And they kind of experimented a little bit, but they didn't feel 100% sure that that was like the specific hairstyle they
Hairstyle.
wanted.
Yep.
And then I came in. This was this was my first day on set. I came in and she just showed me this beautiful hairstyle where it's like a star of braids in the back and the two space buns. And she was like, "Yeah, I came up with it last night. So this is what we're going to do." And that's just what
The
happened.
rest was history. And then
The
Madison's
rest is history.
hairstyle just became huge on social media. It really
Yeah.
is cool to see because there are certain things from the show that people were talking about. Obviously, everyone's talking about, Edvin and Omar and their characters and everything. People love that. But I saw little things about like Malte, people love the sunglasses. And for you, they
Yeah.
love like the hair. Like I love the little details.
Yeah. I'm actually very amazed that people notice the details.
Yeah.
And it just makes me really happy that it's become an iconic style, and I love that.
Absolutely. Now, the show is on Netflix, and
hmm
but it takes place it's Swedish, right? So
Yeah,
basically, you are all speaking. Well, all the characters are speaking Swedish,
yeah,
except for one character. Madison speaks English.
yeah.
So yeah.
She's unique in every way.
I mean, when we're talking about the hairstyle, and then we're like, oh yeah, and by the way, she's speaking English in a Swedish show. um, that's interesting. I get it, right? It's exchange program and everything. But when did you know that you were gonna be having did you know auditioning for it? That Madison spoke in English? Like, what was that like?
No, so basically when I did the audition, I got one scene
Yep.
and it was in Swedish, but it had a lot of English words in it. So I knew that she was going to be um speaking very good English. And then the casting director asked me if I could speak Swedish with an American dialect. And we tried that. And then I didn't hear back from them in a long time. And I was just like, I did not get the role. This sucks. But then she called me up and she was like, "You got the part." And she sent me the script. And that's when I noticed that it was in English. They had totally changed it all into English. So that was a fun surprise.
Absolutely. It's really it just blows my mind that, because I was born in 1991, so a lot of my content obviously was on TV. We didn't have streaming services, and it was just one of those things where it's a whole different world right now where I feel like I'll never ever like not have a show to watch, which is crazy. Um but I find it interesting because I feel like we're in the golden age of television because shows like Young Royals, which is in Swedish, have
Mhm.
this big platform and access, and people from all over the world have access to it. Rather than,
Yeah.
if this was like 12, 15 years ago, Natalie, it might have been, on a few channels in other countries, but maybe it would have been only in Sweden for a little bit. So I find that just incredible too, that we're having access to amazing shows like Young Royals because of Netflix.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. I haven't really thought about that because I grew up renting movies.
Yeah.
And when we would watch TV shows, it was like once a week. You would have to wait.
Mhm.
So yeah, I haven't really thought about that. You're right.
No, but it's just
It's
also really cool because and it's something like I want to keep it positive and everything, but there's all these amazing, international movies and shows, and then you hear that they're gonna make the American adaptation of it with American actors and everything. And I
Mhm.
feel like, you don't have to do that. I don't want that anymore. People are enjoying reading the subtitles. People are enjoying that. People are enjoying that there's content from all over the world. I want to keep that going. I want more shows from Sweden or that Norway, right? I want to keep that going, and I want people to watch more international content. Like, Young Royals came at a time where I saw it online. Like, the countries, it's just a waterfall of different countries that are watching this show. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's bananas. I had a live the other day on TikTok and I was just like, comment where you're from, and it was all over the world. It's crazy.
Have you spoken to your family about this too? Because they're probably like surprised too, because the content that they grew up with and everything and the way it is right now, it is completely different. Like there's opportunities for you that they didn't even exist, 10 years ago, if you think
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah. I mean, when I first told them that I was interested in becoming an actress, they were just like, "Okay, but you need to have a plan B because it's not an easy industry." And considering, the way they grew up watching movies and TVs, I totally understand them. But now, I share with them what, there are people who have been drawing my pictures and doing Madison edits, and
Oh,
I tell them what I hear online and that we were top 10 in the world, and I think they're just as blown away as I am.
the edits are insane. And it
Yes.
freaks me out how quick the edits get posted. Like they make them very quick, the edits.
Yes. They are very fast.
When did you start getting edits for Madison? Was it like after? Because I feel like it drops on it drops on a day, and then that weekend of it dropping is probably just like insanity.
Yes. Yeah. I I think I don't know. I'm not very good with time limits. I'm
Yeah,
a time optimist. But uh, I think like around a week after it dropped,
yeah.
they started rolling in, and it just hasn't stopped.
Hmm. Absolutely. Now we talked about this before we started. So you are from Sweden, and we talked about this. A lot of talented, amazing people from Sweden. I was saying I'm from Canada, so they're Sweden is a powerhouse in hockey. They're amazing in other sports as well. A lot of really good musicians are from Sweden. A lot of really good actors and models from Sweden. Sweden, like a lot of the Scandinavian countries, is not a big country population-wise.
Yeah.
It's not. I find that really interesting. Like, do people realize that sometimes? Like, when they see young royals and, like, you're all from Sweden and you come from a very, like, small country compared to others population-wise. Like, it's pretty fascinating.
I don't know. I don't know if people have thought about it.
Have you thought about it? Like, you're in a small country.
I haven't really thought about it. So it wouldn't surprise me if no one else has. But yeah, we are it is a very small country, or like population-wise, and we have a lot of talented people. But honestly, I think it's just something they put in the milk.
Absolutely. Like Canada, right? We're like, 35 million people, but like we're one of the biggest countries in the world, like land-wise. Like we're massive. Like, so it's that. So we're still kind of small. But then I look at Sweden's population, it's a lot smaller than Canada. So I just always found that very fascinating because that just shows kind of like what you said, like there's something in the milk. But like I just see specifically with Young Royals. Getting back to Young Royals, Natalie, when people watch the show, there is a lot going on in the show. The arc of the characters is so amazing. There is a lot of conflict happening. There's a lot of emotions. There's a lot of things happening with the characters. But diving deep into it a little bit more, when people watch the show, what are you hoping they get out of it, like takeaway wise?
When I read the script, I really enjoyed it because there's so many different topics.
Yep. Yeah.
And
it's packed.
Yeah, and I felt like a lot of people were going to be able to relate to it in one way or another. And I felt that was one of the reasons why I chose to do Young Royals as well, because it dives into a lot of different subjects. For instance, social media. How do we, or kind of like Felice, she posts pictures of herself being like happy and giddy and shows this perfect life, and in reality she's sad, and it's not like that. And just that one subject is huge because it's so relevant. So I think that's the different subjects.
To add to that too, I think people enjoy the complexity of some of the characters and the misunderstandings of a lot of the characters. You look at, Malte's character. I mean, a lot of signs point to people not liking that character.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of misunderstood, and he comes from it's a difficult place where he's coming from, and I think people understand that. I think people like that aspect of it. There are a lot of characters that you're not sure about them. Even some of the characters that you like, sometimes do or say things that you're not sure sometimes, right? There's like that push and pull a little bit.
Yeah, but I think it reflects on reality very well.
Yeah.
Because we have layers. We are very complex humans. And it's not always like, oh, I'm sad and I'm gonna show you that I'm sad.
Yeah.
And I think that's what people enjoy because it's very realistic.
100%. It is very realistic. Natalie, thank you so much for coming on Popternative. I really enjoyed chatting with you.
Thank you for having me.
So all episodes of Young Royal Season 1 are streaming now on Netflix. Which is...
Go watch it.
Yeah, which is amazing. And if you already watched it, go watch it again, right?
Right.
And where can people follow you on social media to keep up to date with everything?
I'm on Instagram, Nathalie Varli. I'm on TikTok, Nathalie Varli. And I'm on Twitter. It's Natte Varli, Natte Varli.
Amazing. Well, this has been Popternative, youtube.com/Popternative. For previous episodes, till next time, this is Nathalie Varli, who plays Madison in Young Royals, streaming now on Netflix. And PD Beats, signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube. Be sure to like Popternative on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.